Dr. Nina Pierpont's book, Wind Turbine Syndrome, details many of the maladies which can affect people living in the areas surrounding industrial wind turbines. Chronic sleeplessness, dizziness, tension, and vertigo are just a few of the symptoms listed by citizens affected by the low and ultra-low frequency sounds produced by the turbines. Industrial wind projects have only recently begun being built in the state of Maine, and the Highland project is the largest to date. In addition, we live in a mountainous terrain. Sound travels differently in canyons and valleys. An echo will not be heard if you stand in a field and shout, but stand on a mountainside and holler across the divide, and your voice will come back, trapped by those walls that nature erected. To better protect their citizens from unwanted noise, legislators in Vermont this year proposed legislation that would establish setbacks that take into account the unique characteristics of wind turbine noise and the influence of the elevation and contours of mountainous terrain. Maine does not currently have sufficient standards to regulate setbacks from industrial wind turbines. Low-frequency noise and its effects on humans and animals is a part of the equation that has not even been addressed yet. There are no laws or standards which we can fall back on to protect ourselves, and LD 2283 has effectively stripped a good part of our power to oppose these developments. We believe that is wrong.
Many Highland, Lexington, and Pleasant Ridge residents live within a mile or two of the proposed development, and many of us are worried and angry. We do not wish to have our quality of life destroyed by an industry that is showing very little compassion for our concerns. The wind industry quotes standard phrases as if by saying them often enough they will be true. In regard to turbine setbacks, one industrial wind developer recently stated in the Portland Press-Herald that our experience indicates that around a half mile is about right. The sound will rarely, if ever, be a problem. Hear them from miles? Never. Sound engineers we've spoken to seem to disagree. The dramatic terrain of Highland Plantation and the surrounding areas is remarkably beautiful, but in mountainous areas, turbine noise is more pronounced and more unpredictable. In places such as Highland, some experts have suggested setbacks of 2 miles or more. Most wind developers don't have experience in mountaintop wind and how sound travels through the canyons yet. They haven't been able to appreciate sitting in a home they have lovingly and painstakingly built and experience the phenomenon of big wind for themselves.
Maine already produces more electricity than it uses on a daily basis, and 44% of it is generated from renewable resources. We also have the option of purchasing an abundance of 100% renewable hydropower from our Canadian neighbors at a much lower rate than we will be able to buy back the electricity generated and sold to the ISO New England grid by the developers of the Highland Mountain Wind Project. So we ask, where's the balance? Losing valuable scenic resources, fragile mountain ecosystems, a peaceful environment, and our sense of place, weighed against a method of harvesting energy from the wind that only engenders annihilation of a mountain environment and the loss of a way of life. These turbines have a 25-year lifespan. However, the changes that will be made in the mountains will be permanent. When the turbines are decommissioned and those who are able can walk on the mountains once more, we will have paved paradise to put up a parking lot.
The Friends of the Highland Mountains are not opposed to harnessing the power of the wind. Rather, we are for the responsible siting of industrial wind turbine plants. Residents of this quiet valley cherish the peace and solitude of our country homes. We came here for a reason. We raise our children here for a reason. We expend our blood, sweat, and tears here for a reason. We love our land and this corner of Maine. We cherish nature and wildlife and serenity. We are dedicated to taking care of this planet and each other. In order for us to retain those qualities that make these Appalachian Mountains so spectacular, we need the help of the people of Maine. The Friends of the Highland Mountains is a grassroots organization of people with local ties which was formed in the autumn of 2009. Our goal is to stop an industrial wind developer from transforming our mountains from unspoiled peaks standing at the gateway to the Bigelow Preserve into flattened summits with slopeside roads which sport unsightly 40-story wind turbines. Turbines which are proven to emit high and low frequency noise every time the wind blows. Turbines which produce shadow flicker on the hillsides every time the sun shines. Turbines which produce intermittent power which will not be kept in the state of Maine. We believe that it is unconscionable to expect our land to be sacrificed due to another region's demand for electricity. And we believe that the ecosystems of these mountains deserve to be protected: the soils, the plants, the wildlife, and the people. Please stand with us as we assert our right to have a say in our own future. Please listen to our voices as we strive to be heard in Augusta and add your voice to ours. We care for this land, and we love our homes. Quality of place brought us here, and quality of life is what we work so hard to maintain. Please stand up. Please speak up and help save the mountains of Highland Plantation, Maine. When industrial wind comes to your neighborhood, we'll be there beside you, adding our voices to yours.